I guess where I kept going is when, I'm sorry, it's upsetting to think about Imani and what she went through. That weighed on my heart heavy, and what that little girl had to do, or what she endured.
Heartbreaking details revealed during that trial, and one of the jurors who sentenced a Gwinnett County woman to death for killing her stepdaughter tries to hold back tears. On Tuesday, Tiffany Moss was given the death penalty for starving Imani Moss to death in 2013, then burning the little girl's body. It took jurors only a few hours to come to that decision.
Adam Harding is here in studio with more on what that juror had to say. This is a CBS46 exclusive, and we said it took them that short amount of time to come to that decision, but how painful a decision it must have been.
Well, he says it was a very diverse group of jurors. They deliberated for a couple hours on Monday, then early on Tuesday, yesterday morning, they made the decision that she would in fact face the death penalty. They had to sit through a week of graphic testimony. We now know that Tiffany Moss will be sentenced to death for killing her 10-year-old stepdaughter. Moss, as we've been telling you, represented herself on trial for the better part of a week. Prosecutors outlined a pattern of abuse that began when Imani Moss was only 6 years old. They say Tiffany would get violent and mad when she told her stepdaughter simply to do her homework. She was found guilty Monday of starving Imani to death, then burning her body, as Tracy mentioned. Jurors weighed whether she should serve a life sentence or face the death penalty, ultimately deciding her crimes will cost her her life.
Had a little debate. The guilty verdicts were easier. The death penalty was a little harder to get everybody on board. I thought about that was a little girl that was tortured and starved to death and treated that way. She just didn't show any emotion when you'd watch her, and all these different things that were being said about her. I didn't detect any remorse. I didn't detect anything like that.
Much more of that exclusive interview available on CBS46.com. As for the in-depth part of this, women on death row in Georgia is incredibly rare. Only twice before have female inmates been executed. Now, the juror that we sat down with said gender was never anything, Gurveer, that weighed on his mind.